What is going on, YouTube? Today is a very exciting day because Bitcoin has hit over $100,000. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, the best investment for a truck driver. Now, I have been investing into Bitcoin for over 4 years now, and this is just a huge milestone, a number, a figure that people have been talking about for over 10 years, that eventually it would get to this level. And now that it's here, it's kind of surreal, and I just want to talk a little bit about my experience with it and why Bitcoin could be a good investment for you. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm just going to kind of explain what I've done and why I believe it could be beneficial for you to potentially get involved with. Because the thing about Bitcoin specifically and being a truck driver is that a lot of people say, buy real estate, buy stocks, buy this, buy that, buy a truck, right? There's a lot of different ways you could go about investing your money as a truck driver, because as you know, we do make decent money as a truck driver, and you're going to have probably more money coming in than you're spending each month. So what are you doing with that extra money is a big topic of discussion for how you're actually going to get rich in this industry, right? Because you want to be able to, you don't want to be a truck driver forever. You want to be able to retire. I see truck drivers nowadays in their 60s, 70s that are still driving, and it's like, well, what did they do growing up? What situation were they in? What didn't they do to get themselves to a level to where they can retire? Because that's everyone's goal. You want to be able to retire. You want to be able to build wealth. You want to be able to feel secure in your life. So you have to be able to actively take the correct steps to get to that level. Now, why I specifically like crypto and Bitcoin specifically is because it's a liquid asset, right? You could withdraw at any time. You're not tied down to a investment like that. It's the same thing that goes with stocks, right? With real estate, a lot of people say, you could buy a house if you have a family, whatnot. But if you're a truck driver, you're probably pretty young. You might be single. You might not have a lot of things that are tying you down to one specific area. So why would you be investing into a house or a rental property when it's going to require a lot of attention, a lot of time and energy that are going to have to go to improving the house, renovating it, or if you have tenants, you're going to have to manage those tenants. And if you're living in a truck, if you're if you're in a new state every single day, you're not going to be able to really put the time and energy into it that you would need to upkeep it, right? You could, hire a property manager or someone that's going to be managing your real estate portfolio. But the thing I see about real estate is that you could get into it eventually, but when you're just starting out, you want to invest into things that don't require a huge down payment, right? Getting into a house is going to require probably $30,000-$40,000 if you're going to put 20% down, right? I mean, you could probably get in for less depending on the type of mortgage, but it's going to require a lot of upfront capital. What I like about Bitcoin is that it doesn't. You don't have to buy a full Bitcoin to get started investing. You could buy fractional shares, right? It's Satoshis, right? So you could buy $10, $20, $100 a month, whatever it is, whatever you feel comfortable investing into it. That's the benefit of it. Now, the reason why Bitcoin has been going up so high is because it is a fixed supply, right? Now, what that means is that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin created and mined and circulating in the blockchain. Now, why that's important is because supply and demand, right? If there's not as much supply, the demand will go up and vice versa. So what's the difference between Bitcoin and real estate is you can always build more houses. There isn't a fixed supply. So as more houses be built, there's more opportunities for people to buy into houses. So, but, obviously real estate does go up over time because inflation, right? But inflation is not always a good thing, especially when it comes to the dollar, right? The more money, and this is another reason why Bitcoin has been going up so high, is because when the Federal Reserve prints money, which is they have the power to do, it deflates the currency. So that's why you see things getting so expensive nowadays, is because companies have to raise their prices. When the government is printing money year after year after year, it makes everything less valuable. You have to be, when the dollar is less valuable, people have to raise their prices in order to maintain that type of living expense. So I could go on and on about why this is so important and why you need to understand the value and the technology that is right in front of you, that you're just looking over. Really do your research. You have to do your research, because like I said, I've been investing into Bitcoin ever since it was $30,000, and I've 3x'd my money as of today, basically, right? You know, I've bought in anywhere between $20,000 all the way up to $50,000, $60,000. So, you know, I haven't completely doubled my money in every type of crypto buy, but this insane amount of wealth to be made here, and the fact that it's starting to become more mainstream and more regulated is huge, because now the United States government, they have a crypto or a Bitcoin ETF, an exchange traded fund. So people that have retirement accounts that maybe don't want to buy crypto through a cryptocurrency exchange, they could go through their retirement accounts or through their pensions and whatever it is to actually buy Bitcoin through the ETF. Now they're not actually holding the Bitcoin like passwords in and of itself, and the actual Bitcoin in and of itself, but they have exposure to it, and that's why it's so huge. So the fact that you could actually buy Bitcoin through your retirement account is going to open up a whole can of more people that are going to be able to be exposed to it, because a lot of people that are older, they're a little bit more skeptical about getting into it. But if they have younger financial advisors that are going to say, hey, maybe you should invest 1 to 5% of your portfolio into Bitcoin, over time that's going to greatly appreciate the cost of Bitcoin. And now that it's crossed $100,000 is actually insane, and it's a huge milestone, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon, especially this next year. The end of this year into next year, it's gonna go crazy, guys. I could easily see it hitting $200,000 within the next 3 to 5 months. Now, there will be a time where it does come crashing down again. You know, I held Bitcoin from $30,000 all the way up to $69,000 in 2021, and then it came crashing down to $16,000 over the course of 2022 into 2023. But if you're smart with investing and you see the big picture about this, you should be buying when the prices are low. Now, you still have time to get in. I still believe you still could make, you still could potentially 2x your money over the next 6 months to a year. But it's definitely, you're definitely not early, right? But you're not late, because give it another 4 or 5 years, Bitcoin could potentially hit $500,000. That's what they're saying. They're saying that Bitcoin is kind of like digital gold in a sense. So since it's like a better version of gold, right? Gold is very scarce, because in order to get more gold, they have to mine it, and then they have to, they still have to, mine it and produce it. But what's even better about Bitcoin is that with the technology, they know how much Bitcoin is going to get mined each and every day and put into the circulation. But eventually that's going to come to a stop in 2140. So over 100 years it's going to take for the remaining Bitcoin to be mined. But there's already there's like 95% of the Bitcoin Bitcoin that's already been mined, because every 4 years the amount of Bitcoin that gets mined per day gets cut in half. So right now I think it's like 3 Bitcoin gets mined every day or something like that. Maybe it's maybe it's a little bit less, a little bit more. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's something that if you guys really dig into it and start to do the research, you're going to see that the value and the big picture idea why Bitcoin changes everything for finance, especially being able to send and receive money to people in other countries, right? If you're working in the United States, you want to be able to send money to a family member in a third world country, you could do that with Bitcoin. You don't have to spend crazy amount of fees and through like Western Union or all these different wire transfer services. Bitcoin allows you to just do it from a cryptocurrency exchange, an app. It's very easy, and it's something that I do believe over the next 10, 20 years it's gonna greatly impact the world. So start saving your money, guys. Start saving and investing your money, right? I'm not saying you have to buy Bitcoin right now or later, but do your research and see what's going to be best for your situation. If you're young and you have extra money each month as a truck driver, you should be investing. You don't want to keep your money in cash, because the more money they print and the more dollars that get put into circulation each and every year, the less your dollars are going to be worth, especially in a bank account that's not earning you any interest whatsoever. So invest your money. Don't hoard it in cash. Don't let it sit in your bank account. Be smart with it, and you guys are going to be very happy in the future. So that's all I wanted to kind of talk about. I'm still kind of gathering my thoughts with how crazy this feeling is, the fact that it is at $100,000 now. So I'm going to let this sink in over the next week, and I'll probably make some more follow-up videos about Bitcoin in the future. But until next time, this has been your boy, Coach Dusty. I'm out. Peace.